the iconic sounds we all chase in their humble origins. Let's get to the bottom of this. Hey, it's Baxter
and Sean.
Casino Guitars come at you hard and fast once again. We're talking about those great sounds from those great records that we're all trying to get with buying our fancy, expensive guitars, our expensive amps, which I am super guilty of.
Expensive pedals,
expensive cables, expensive preamps,
expensive everything.
No, we buy it all. I'm a sucker for it all. I love it. It's so much fun. But sometimes we're maybe buying the wrong stuff.
Hard and agree.
We sort of discovered this first when someone brought in this Sears and Roebuck amp that was pretty much just a giveaway. And they plugged it in when I was out to lunch. And then they plugged it in. And they're like, Bash, you got to play this amp.
Boom. Our minds exploded.
And I was like, yeah, that's a really good amp. Because I like sort of crappy amps like that too. It's a solid state amp.
And it just has like, I don't know, it's like the craziest, like it's tone central. It's
like a boutique pedal that you'd spend $500 to get that sound.
That's exactly right.
And it does this thing that was free. But let's jump into Oasis and Noel Gallagher. We saw him on the Pedal Show recently.
That's right.
Great interview. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really fun interview. He gets deep into the tones and what made the sounds of the original Oasis from Definitely Maybe. 30th anniversary this year, so we can sell that record again for the 4th time with a few tweaks.
But it's still good.
It's still good.
I listened to it the other night. It's still good.
It's still great.
And, but it's funny to see him play the gear from that record.
What's the Marshall amp that cost a fortune that he's playing?
It's a Marshall Valve State. So whenever you think Holy Grail, think Valve State. No, seriously though,
no, it sounds great though.
$150 amp, maybe $300 if you found somebody.
Then on top of another little sort of junker.
That's right.
And that was because he didn't know any better. And that's the Oasis sort of sound with a couple pedals running through it, but it wasn't thought out. There was no signal chain master plan.
Yeah.
That's a little Oasis pun I threw in there.
I like that.
Thank you. I've listened to the band once or twice. I am actually going to go see Noel in a few weeks down in Georgia.
It's June
24th. And then Zach gets here June 25th. So I'll be seeing Noel and the High Flying Birds and Garbage, which should be fun because I think she is super attractive. I know.
Don't talk about his wife like that.
Woo, not gonna make any jokes because one day I'll meet Noel.
No.
I'm gonna be nice right now.
I'm sorry, it was a joke. I didn't mean it.
I know. I do love me some Garbage Girl. No. So it's funny because then we were sort of riffing earlier about back in my days in New York.
Yeah.
And we live in a strange time today where we are all gear lusties, gear obsessies. I had one amp.
Boom.
One electric guitar.
Rock and roll.
It was a 78 Deluxe Les Paul Sunburst, bought from somebody else, obviously. I had the thinner twin. I was a red knob twin. Yeah. And my parents bought me that when I was 15, I think.
Yeah.
And I had two pedals, maybe one. I had a tube screamer.
Yeah.
And I had a delay pedal I bought just for shits and giggles in the studio.
That's awesome.
I never used it live.
I mean, and what's cool about that, too, to kind of let's transport back to that point in time, right? This is late 90s into the 2000s.
I'd say 1972.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
There you go. That Les Paul Deluxe was not it wasn't a sought after model. It was just
a cheap
model. Yeah, it was.
And I do remember when I started touring a lot, I realized I needed another guitar. Yeah. So I went to Matt Umanov's down on Bleecker Street, which was a great guitar shop. It's gone now, but I walked in there. I was like, I want something different. I think I want a Fender. And so I was like, I want a Telecaster. That's kind of cool. So I was like, there's a black telly, there's a sunburst telly, a white telly. It's like, let me try that black telly. I just grabbed it, I strummed it a little bit. I don't even think I plugged in. I was like, cool, I'll take it.
There it is.
I think it was $900.
That's awesome.
I feel like that's what an American standard was then, I think.
But, that's weird too. The sounds that you came up with, just in the same way like Oasis for that first record, I feel like it's based upon not...
Oasis's records were much better.
Oh, it's arguable, all right? Let's call
they
them.
They had a few more sales.
They sold millions. But, to go out and not really be on a tone hunt, there wasn't the internet to bog up your mind with
and that's the thing too, is you live in a different time, obviously, because we've gone forward in the future because time doesn't stay still.
I know, it keeps moving.
It keeps going. I wish it would because I'm tired of getting older. I like getting older. It's kind of fun. But no, we just didn't think about it. Like I remember I was talking with Derek before he got in, and I was like, I did a lot of shows where like you're playing with 4 other bands sometimes a night, 2 bands. I don't remember once ever like having gear lust. Like it wasn't a psychology of like seeing people's gear like, hey, what are you playing? It just wasn't the same as like you saw me on stage and just do his thing. Like that was cool sounding.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's very rare that I fall into that of like, oh, what's everybody using and stuff. But I will say within the community now, that is a huge thing. Because like people come up and they're like, I can't believe you play full-size Big Muff on your board. I'm like, thanks, I guess.
We didn't know what boards
stuff
were back then.
Yeah, I mean,
we just put a few pedals on the floor.
Yeah, there's just
I remember like sort of taping the pedals down to the floor sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because like we would run around so I didn't kick it across the stage.
I saw a Turnstile in that Cat's Cradle, actually. So a smaller venue, and that's what he did. No pedal board. He had like a tube screamer, a chorus pedal, and reverb, I think.
That's just, it's just what I did. I didn't know there was any other way.
That's how he did it then, and that's been years ago now, but it was cool to see because it's like, oh, wow.
You'll not see Turnstile at the Cat's Cradle anymore.
No, you want to.
They're playing in big theaters now. Yeah, they sort of blown up. And good hats off to them. They're a good band.
They're a good band. Great.
It's a strange time we've entered, and that the gear comparisons and the lust is so infecting.
Yeah, but I feel like
I enjoy it.
My thought with it was like I almost argue sometimes I'll say the word cheapest, but what I mean is the gear that you were most able to acquire in the time of like creation or whenever you started your band, you're doing your solo stuff. And also, I got another thing after this. Whenever you get all this stuff together, right? That's what you have. It's not about getting some sound greater than that or thinking bigger than that. It's just you're using this and you're playing in style, takes all this and filters it out and gives you this new sound, right? So it's like the sound of the future will always be made of that.
Oh, I just hear you saying, well, yeah, the sound of the future is made from inexpensive things usually.
Yeah. But with that too, a big thing that I still think of every time I sit down to write, record, do anything is limitation is what like breeds creativity. So the more limited you are, like, and you kind of taught me a bit of this with like plugging straight into an amp.
Yeah.
Cut out all the garbage straight into the amp.
No distortion allowed.
No.
Clean when you're learning.
And that's play, Yeah. And it's like you start to think about it differently, and it forces you to try different things.
No, it is funny. Do we play what we play because we have it? Or do we play what we play because we're cheap?
Yeah.
Or because we're poor, we do it. But now, so I've entered a different phase of my life, which is like, I like this phase a lot. Like I'm not buying stuff because I'm cheap anymore. But then this is the thing. We shot a video the other day too on Sean. Like some of the little fun things we find, like the Squires.
Yeah.
And stuff, like we get super jazzed about.
That's the most exciting stuff.
Like the cheap amps every once in a while we get pumped up about. Don't get me wrong, when like a new 2-Rock shipment comes in,
oh, that's dope.
We sure like lose our shirts. And like we just got notified that they're building 3 more amps for us right now.
I mean, all that stuff is like amazing in its own right? Like those and the custom shops and Echo Park and all these great things that we've been so lucky to be able to, play and use, but there is something really cool about getting that thing that's weird.
Well, I have to kick myself every once in a while because I never thought I'd be in a world where I got to play all this great stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember when I was young and I didn't have any money, I just played what I had because I had it.
Yeah.
It was neat. Now I live in this world where I get to see all these great boutique things, and that has opened up it's a whole different thing. We're sort of getting off the video topic a bit there, as happens. But it does. It's like a whole new world of exploration for me. But then I every once in a while bounce back to what are these great records made of? And you look at the first Strokes record. It's like Hot Rod Deluxes
and Strats, and that's
it.
Strats,
like not even great Strats.
No, just Strats.
And that's one of the cooler sounding records. Great production there. But it's just thoughtful playing, and greatness comes out of some tough situations sometimes too.
Yeah, I think it's cooler to think the greatness comes out of people, and the way Noel kind of put it in that video too is like guitars and gear in some ways it feels like it has a song in it. and he's
That
just
was right.
finding it, and that's really cool.
He's a different because he's a mega millionaire rock star. So he's like, well, I figured this guitar is run out of its steam, so I just need to get another guitar. And we get this one in.
Tosses it.
So like the one that Johnny Marr gave him too is like they were doing the story on that and how the Les Paul, it's a different neck and blah blah blah. And the shop's like, where'd you get this? He's like, Johnny Marr and blah. It's just cool, But he does it. And that's he's talking about Slide Away. I think was that the song.
Yeah, that was the song he wrote on that one. And I mean, that's I don't know. And I part of me agrees with that. Part of me also agrees with too, though, that limitation thing gets you there.
No, but I will. Maybe in some ways, but that is true. Like because when I grab a new piece of gear, like new stuff comes out.
It does. Right?
Sometimes nothing comes out, just because my soul is dead. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, when in particular with some of these boutique guys.
Yeah.
Like when I play an Echo Park is sitting on my couch right now, like that stupid yellow one, and then when I play a Casadosa,
it inspires you.
It does something different. I sort of go between those two. Because something totally different comes out. And I have my Fender custom shop right next to those three. Not sitting in Zach's room right now.
That's cool. But that's like, it's true. I feel like it does, and it can inspire, it can push you, it can get you out of that next phase. So it's really cool.
Go check out some of your old recordings and see if you can, if you want to replicate some of them. If you're in the gear hunt again, go find those cheap toys that made the sound. See if you can make it with your expensive gear too, because now they ain't playing with the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And right. I will arguably say this stuff sounds better too that they're playing now. It's unreal. Like the new recordings I've heard of Nolan's, they're pretty amazing.
It's top notch.
Top notch. I'll wait to see it live soon. See what he does. Yeah, it should be because it's a 5-hour drive. I hope it's good.
That'd be funny if he goes there and he's like, "All right,
I'm gonna sit down this whole show. I'm wearing shorts and my flip flops. Like,
no acoustic. We're just gonna hang out. You like the Grateful Dead?
Or that'd be cool if he did like an hour-long version of the Master Plan. Take what you want to do.
I love that. Yeah. Just an
all around the world. That song, that already is an hour. The world.
You'd only have to play that
like
6 times.
Come on, guys. So thanks for joining us again. Enjoy the hunt. Enjoy the history memory lane walk down you're going to have. And peace be with you guys. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
And forever, let rock and roll live.